How's it going, everybody? Caster Troy here, and today I have a special treat for you. This is a zoo that I made on Planet Zoo. I've been playing it quite a bit lately. A fantastic game. You can pick it up from Steam. Very detailed, very happy with it. Absolutely loving the game. Can have hours and hours of fun. Anyways, this is my franchise zoo that I made. It is the Mount Erebus Zoo. Mount Erebus is actually a volcano in Antarctica, and actually I chose the exact spot on the map for this and kind of made a zoo out of it. Not that you'd have a zoo at an active volcano, but I just thought it'd be a cool, interesting way to make a zoo. So what I have here is the whole zoo finished. This is in franchise mode. It took me, I want to say, maybe 120, 150 hours to create this zoo. So I put quite a bit of work into it. And this is just a tour of my zoo. I just wanted to show you guys everything that's inside, and hopefully you like it, and maybe you can pick up some ideas from me, or if you have any tips for me, because certainly I'm no expert at this game, but I think I did a pretty good job on this zoo. So without further ado, let's hop on into it. This is my entrance here, the Mount Erebus Zoo. So my theme that I kind of went here was I kind of took Antarctica, and if you look at it, it's mostly ice. But unfortunately, you can't have snow and ice 100% of the time on this game. So what I kind of did is my plan was to have this kind of be like an iceberg type deal, and then you go over the water here to Mount Erebus itself. Now I have stuff all the way around the mountain here, or the volcano. There's exhibits all the way around. And I've also hollowed out the inside as well. So there's stuff in there too. So quite a bit of things. Oh shit, my rattlesnake just died. And then I made the top where you'd have the active lava lake or whatnot, which unfortunately there's no lava in this game, so I did water. I made kind of like a hot spring up here. And this is also an exhibit on the top. Let's go back to the beginning, and I'll just start from there. I tried to go with the Arctic theme for a lot of this, because I also have that DLC, and I thought it really fit with where this is. So you'll see a lot of the Arctic theme in this, like these torches and all kinds of buildings and stuff. So let's start on the ground here. As you walk in, you got a nice view. I was gonna say you got a nice view of the mountain there, but you kind of got a nice view of people's asses. There you go. I got a waterfall right directly in the center, coming down. You can see it as you walk in. Coming into kind of like, I made this kind of like a petting zoo area. So if you go to the right, I have two different types of turtles in here. So here I have some Galapagos turtles. This is kind of like my petting zoo area. This is my starting area for getting my franchise going, building up some cash, getting some research done and whatnot. So I just kind of kept it, made it a little nicer, added in some displays and stuff. On the other side of it, I have the albatross turtles, which actually made a huge mistake with them in the beginning, and I let them breed a little too much. And there was like 20 turtles in here. It just became a turtle fest. It wasn't good. But I've remedied that, and now we just have, I think, four or five. So yeah, that's all that's on the very beginning of here, minus some exhibits. And then I stuck with the same path throughout the entire zoo, this frosted snow path type deal. And then there's just a couple food things, drink things, and then to the immediate right, well, the left as you come in, I did the theme, the Arctic theme for all of the staff housings. So that is the very beginning aisle. As we'll cross over, we've got a nice wrecked Viking ship to our left. And our first big animal, we have grizzly bears right here. I made them a nice little lagoon here with the waterfall dripping down from the very top. Looks very nice. One of the most popular exhibits here at the zoo. I believe we got 2 bears in here right now. Yep, there they are. So 2 grizzly bears. The water actually flows down from the water fountain, or the waterfall. It goes underneath here. There's a tunnel, and it continues on through to the next exhibit. So yeah, this is one of my favorite ones here in the zoo, and it's if you go to the immediate right, this will greet you right as you come in. Oh, there goes the bear. All right, moving up. This is the first entrance to the inside. We will touch on that a little later. I kind of want to go and do the outside first, and then we will come in and do the inside. So as you follow the path out this way, you will have our Siberian tigers. I initially had timber wolves in here, but I found that they just weren't drawing as many people, so I swapped over to these tigers, and they've been absolutely fantastic. And I don't have to heat any of these outside exhibits except for maybe a couple, because they actually prefer the cold. I made a nice little path here in their exhibit. Makes it look like the animals are actually tracking around in here. They got a nice big, huge kind of stream pond type deal flowing over from the other exhibit. And then this kind of flows out to the back here and drops down into our big ocean. Another one of my favorite exhibits here at the zoo. All right, moving on. This is kind of a little hub area for people to get some drinks, some refreshments, and our first gondola is also here. This goes up to the top. Now I have this running continuously so that people can keep coming and going, and it never really gets full. So if you're having that trouble with your game where you're noticing people are just stacking up the paths here, add a bunch of these so they can keep coming and going. It'll keep clearing them out. And to the right here, I also have a train, and this train cuts through the center of the mountain, goes all the way on the bottom and comes out on the other end, just to move people around. And there is the side entrance to the inside, but we were going to continue on going this way. So as you go this way, this is one of the exhibits where I did have to put heaters. I added some Indian elephants on this bottom grassy plain here. Meets at the edge of our big lake. And they got lots and lots of room to play in here. Looks like he's taking a dump as we're talking here. Wonderful. Couple baby elephants and another very good attraction in the Erebus Zoo here. Nice Arctic themed shelter. And plenty of things to do and see as you come up here. Plenty of room for the guests to come on down, get a nice close-up view. Makes happiness very high. Unless you look down here, for some reason it's always like 60%. I don't know what it is. It just, something's glitched. I can't make them any happier. I mean, I could have a cocaine stand and these people would still be upset, I'm sure. Anyways, moving on from the Indian elephants, we're going to follow this path, a little staff area, and this brings us to our polar bear exhibit. And what I did here is in the very back, I had a little stream built, kind of makes it look like if this was ice covered, these would be like icebergs back here, and kind of makes a cool look. But the polar bears kind of have the beginning of all that. I have another underground water flowing through here, and I made that show up with the nice little waves. And the people can come up here and get a super nice close-up view of all the polar bears. And they have refreshments and everything they need on this little, I call it Polar Bear Island. And the polar bears got tons of room to roam around. And if they're so inclined, they even have a little tunnel back here to go through. So they got plenty of room. They're pretty happy. I did add some trees in here. Polar bears typically don't like any vegetation, but you know what? It just looks so bare without it. It needed something. And then back here I have a little water tunnel that's going through there, showing where the rest of these quote-unquote icebergs are. I wish it would snow. It looks so much better when it snows here. So yeah, this is the very back of Mount Erebus. Again, there's another tunnel coming out right here. That goes inside. And now we're going to scoot on over to the far right, where I have some Indian rhinoceroses down here somewhere. There they are. We got... I'm always pooping every time I come. We got a male, female, and a baby in here. And plenty of room for them, again, just like the elephants. And it connects up to our lake. They can take a nice little swim if they like. And nice viewing area up top. Plenty of education, donation bins. This hooks up over here to this path. And it also connects down here and brings us to our gondola, which is just like the other side, except it's going in reverse. This will actually take you to the other gondola from here, and just gives our guests lots of room to roam around and not have to trek everywhere on foot. Next, we have to the rhinoceroses. I have some doll sheep. I made them a little home here on this rocky outcropping here, so they can come and go from living down on the bottom. They can climb up here, or they can come up this nice little path that I made for them. And they're sleeping up here in this little loft I got up here. Little quieter section of the zoo, just because not as many people are trekking back here, but still came out pretty nice. Here's our other train side. Now this train, if you hop on it, will take you all the way underneath, just like the other side. And again, just cycling guests around the zoo, making it easier to access everywhere and give people as much ground to cover as possible. Now we're coming to the most popular exhibit here at Mount Erebus Zoo, and that is the gorillas. What I did for the gorillas is I made like a geyser type lake with a geyser in the center pouring out water to keep it nice and hot. And our gorillas have plenty of room. Guests can come view them either from this tunnel here, or our final entrance to the inside is right here. They can come over top and take a peek down on top of them. Or if they're coming from the other way, you have a nice building here that you can get a very good view from either this side or inside this tunnel. This is the most popular exhibit. This exhibit, I think, took me about, I want to say 2 to 3 hours to make. It was very time consuming, but I'm very happy with the result. I think it came out wonderful, and it definitely shows because it's become the most popular exhibit at this zoo. I made this big house here kind of as just a little detail. There's nothing in here, but it kind of made it African themed, just to kind of pump up the guests as they're coming from that side to come check out the the gorillas. Now there's just one more exhibit on the outside, and it's more another little petting zoo. I snuck in this tiny little peacock area, as the guests had a pretty big gap between here and the other exhibits. So I added this in between to boost their happiness, and it definitely has helped because people love coming in and seeing the peacocks. They're always one of the most popular animals at any zoo you go to. Anyways, that is it for pretty much everything on the outside minus the top, which we're going to come to at the very end. Now, let's sneak on in to the inside of the zoo. So this is the inside. I'm going to toggle the heat map here because unfortunately the game does not recognize caves too well unless it's nighttime. So I have kind of a major gathering area here with lots of food. This is a food court. People can come in here and take a seat, eat. There's a couple exhibits here. And then there's just lots of scenery, things to look at. This whole area is for my staff. And this is actually in the heart of the volcano itself. I hollowed all of this out. Took a lot of time, but definitely paid off and increased accessibility to my entire zoo. You can walk through here, get out of the cold, and have lots of different choices. There's signs here pointing out to where you can go see and visit. And also added an exhibit in here. This is the red panda exhibit, where I have a bunch of lights in here. Once it gets a little brighter, there we go. And you can come in here, get out of the heat, check out these guys. They got plenty of room. When I initially built this, for some reason, whenever they would climb up like a couple meters high, it would say they escaped and then like fall through the floor. It got all weird, so I ended up having to change things. But now it's been made pretty nice, and everything's gone well since. So yeah, you've seen pretty much the gist of the whole zoo. I just have one more area to show you, and that'll be it. I'm going to head outside again and go to the very mountain top, to the summit of the volcano. Now to get here, you actually have to take the gondola. There is no path. This path is for staff to connect them from the bottom and top, but they have a separate staff area too. And you have to ride up, and this is always congested here because people are coming and going. It takes time. But up here we have the summit where you can get a nice view all the way around of the zoo. Couple little things for food and whatnot. And then up top here I have some albino Nile monitors. Nothing too fancy. I think I'm going to swap them out actually for crocodiles at some point. But I like how they got a cool setup. They're living in basically the volcano. But yeah, and that's it for the whole Mount Erebus Zoo. Like I said, this zoo took me 120, 150 hours to make on franchise mode, and it's pretty self-sufficient. I'll gain money fairly well. I'd say maybe 30K a year, 30, 40K a year. So if I wanted to, I could add to it, but I really enjoy how it came out and how it is right now. Very detailed, pretty much a 5-star rating. Guest happiness, I don't really understand. It's mostly they're complaining about stupid things that I can't really fix. Like, I wish I could have stayed longer. I really don't know how to fix that. But apart from that, everything else here is done. Here's an overview of the whole zoo. I filled it in with some trees. I made a little outcropping of rock, a desolate area, because Antarctic is pretty desolate. And that's it. I hope everyone enjoyed watching this. If you have questions that I could help you with Planet Zoo, feel free to comment below. If you like videos like this and you want to see more, I'm currently working on a desert-themed zoo right now. And certainly will probably post that too, as I'm really having a lot of fun with this game right now. But if you have things that you see in my zoo, you can certainly check it out. You can subscribe to it via the Steam Workshop and download it and check it out yourself. Or if you see something in the video that you would change differently, feel free to comment. I'm open to any suggestions. And I appreciate you guys taking your time to watch. And I will see you next time.